Liang Yaoi, whose life was ended by a brain tumor last Friday, gave new life to others by electing to donate his kidneys, liver, and cornea.
His kidney and liver saved 3 dying patients.
Doctors bowed in awe when an 11-year-old boy stunned the medical world with his extraordinary courage.
He said that if he didn't survive, he would like his organs to be donated.
And that's just one of the jaw-dropping moments we're diving into in this video. Picture a 16-year-old who put his life on the line to shield his friends from a devastating car crash, and inmates who sprang into action to save a deputy's life. These stories, each more astonishing than the last, redefine what it means to be a hero. Here are the 15 times when people saved others in the most amazing ways. Number 15. A mother's final embrace. On a quiet Sunday in Texas, a tragedy unfolded at a small-town church when a gunman opened fire, turning a place of worship into a scene of chaos and loss. Amid danger, a brave mother named Joanne Ward acted with remarkable courage and love. Knowing that her children's lives were at risk, she used her own body to shield them from harm. As shots rang out, she quickly pushed her older daughter to the floor, ensuring that she was hidden from the danger, and then wrapped her arms around her 3 other children. In doing so, she helped save the life of her 5-year-old son and one of her daughters, even though she herself did not survive. The church, once a place of comfort, became a setting of fear and sorrow as 26 people lost their lives. In the chaos, each moment stretched into a fight for survival, and Joanne's selfless act brought a small ray of hope amid the despair. For her son, who suffered several gunshot wounds, it was a long journey toward recovery, a journey that will remind all who know his story of the deep bond between a mother and her child. Joanne's husband, who was resting at home after a long night of work, was met with heartbreaking news upon waking. The close-knit community, which had long shared in both joy and grief at their church, mourned the loss of a gentle and caring soul. Pictures later shared by the family remind everyone of brighter days, when a smiling child's face captured the light of a loving family. Her courage and sacrifice will forever serve as a powerful example of a parent's love and the lengths they will go to protect their children. Number 14. A hero's last stand. In 2017, Brennan Stewart, a Las Vegas native, showed courage during a terrible event on the Las Vegas Strip. In his final moments, he chose to protect those he loved above his own safety. As chaos spread, Brennan stepped forward and shielded his girlfriend, Gia Iantuono, from a gunman's bullets. His brave act saved her life and helped many others find safety during the attack. His selfless deed has touched many hearts and brought a message of hope during a dark time. Before this tragedy, Brennan loved life and had a passion for country music. He was a fan of the genre and had shared a video of himself singing on social media. That video showed his warm spirit and love for music, giving friends and followers a glimpse of his joyful side. It is hard to imagine that such a kind and talented man would face a moment of such danger. After the attack, Gia expressed her deep sorrow on social media, saying she might not have survived without his heroic actions. Her grief has united a community still struggling with the pain of loss. Amid sorrow, a song was dedicated to honor all those affected by the tragedy, spreading a message of healing and unity. Brennan's final act of bravery continues to inspire everyone who hears his story. His willingness to risk everything for the sake of someone he loved shows the true strength of the human spirit. As the community slowly healed, the memory of his selfless act remained a guiding light. Number 13. A teen's final heroic act. In a quiet Indiana town, a group of teenagers gathered on a cool autumn night to help with an unexpected problem. A car had stalled on a lonely road during a birthday celebration, and a call for help was answered by a group of brave young people. Among them was 16-year-old Martin Martinez, a kind and caring teen who always dreamed of being a hero like Superman. Martin was well known for his willingness to help others, and that night, he showed true courage. When the car's engine failed and danger seemed to loom, the young group came together to push the vehicle to safety. Their task was not easy, as the car was heavy and the road was dark. With cell phone flashlights guiding them and the car's hazard lights blinking, they began their work. During the effort, another vehicle unexpectedly rushed into the scene. In that moment of chaos, Martin acted quickly. He pushed some of his friends out of harm's way, saving 3 girls from the oncoming car. Tragically, in the accident, 4 teens lost their lives, including Martin. Along with him, 3 others died during the collision. His selfless act showed a level of bravery that touched many hearts in the community. Friends and family remember him for his caring nature and constant desire to help others, much like the hero he admired. The night ended in sorrow, but Martin's brave actions continue to inspire others to be kind and courageous, reminding everyone that real heroes are found among us every day. Number 12. A lion of a person. In the bustling streets of Istanbul's Fatih district, an ordinary day turned into an extraordinary tale of heroism. On a day in June 2019, 17-year-old Feuzi Zabat, an Algerian immigrant, was diligently working in a frame workshop. As he stepped outside, his attention was drawn to a sight that made his heart race. A 2-year-old girl, Doha Mohammed, was teetering on the edge of a second-floor window. Doha, a Syrian toddler, had wandered to the open window while her mother was busy cooking in the kitchen. The curious child had no inkling of the danger she was in. Feuzi, sensing the imminent peril, acted without hesitation. Positioning himself directly beneath the window, he kept his eyes locked on the toddler, ready to react. In a heart-stopping moment captured by CCTV, Doha lost her balance and began to fall. With split-second timing, Feuzi extended his arms and caught her mid-air, just before she would have hit the ground. The street, once filled with the routine sounds of daily life, fell silent as onlookers processed the gravity of what had just occurred. Remarkably, Doha emerged from the ordeal without a scratch, her life saved by Feuzi's quick reflexes and bravery. When asked about his heroic act, Feuzi humbly remarked, "I was just walking in the road when I saw the little girl at the window. She fell, and thanks to God, I caught her before she hit the ground." News of the incident spread rapidly, with many hailing Feuzi as a lion of a person. Doha's family, profoundly grateful, rewarded him with 200 Turkish lira, approximately 30 euros, as a token of their appreciation. The story also shed light on the importance of window safety, especially in households with young children. Number 11. Heroic neighbor saves drowning child. On a warm evening in May 2022, a quiet apartment complex in Lawrence, Kansas, became the scene of a life-changing event. 4-year-old Xavier Rigney, a lively boy with autism who is nonverbal, managed to slip out of his family's apartment unnoticed. Drawn to water, he found his way to the community pool, somehow bypassing the locked gate. Without hesitation, Xavier stepped into the pool and was quickly submerged, unable to swim. Nearby, 12-year-old Maddox Westerhouse was playing with friends when he noticed Xavier struggling in the water. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Maddox sprinted to find his father, Tom Westerhouse, a former lifeguard. Without wasting a moment, Tom vaulted over the 6-foot fence surrounding the pool, pulled Xavier from the water, and began administering CPR, a skill he had learned over 15 years prior. For nearly 3 minutes, Tom performed chest compressions while those around him watched in tense silence. Finally, Xavier coughed up water and began to breathe, a moment of profound relief for everyone present. Emergency responders arrived shortly after, acknowledging that without Tom's swift action, the outcome could have been tragic. Xavier's mother, Alexis Rigney, had been attending to her infant daughter when she realized Xavier was missing. Hearing sirens, she rushed outside to find her son being revived by Tom. Overwhelmed with emotion, Alexis expressed deep gratitude toward Tom and Maddox, considering them her family's heroes. In recognition of their heroic actions, Tom and Maddox were honored by local authorities. Xavier soon made a full recovery, a testament to the quick thinking and bravery of a neighbor and his son, whose prompt actions turned a potential tragedy into a story of hope and heroism. Number 10. Little Hero, Big Heart. In Lakeside, California, a 10-year-old girl showed remarkable courage during a moment of danger that touched many hearts. When a car began rolling down a sloping driveway, she acted quickly without a thought for herself. With a brave heart and clear mind, she pushed two very young children out of the car's path. The children, only 1 and 2 years old, were saved from a tragic accident because of her selfless act. Sadly, the same car struck her as she tried to protect them, and she died from her injuries while being rushed to the hospital. Her quick actions turned what could have been a terrible tragedy into a story of hope and sacrifice. Her family and friends remember her as a kind and loving soul. She always cared deeply for those around her, and on that day, her concern for others shone brightly. In the aftermath, people from many places have come together to support her family during this difficult time. A fundraising effort was set up to help cover the expenses that the family now faces. This young girl's brave deed has left a lasting impact on her community. Her memory inspires others to act with compassion and to look out for one another. Number 9. Inmates save collapsing deputy. In an extraordinary display of compassion and quick thinking, 3 inmates in Gwinnett County became unexpected heroes when they saved a deputy who suffered a sudden medical emergency while on duty. The incident began when inmates noticed the deputy seemed unwell as he patrolled their housing unit. Moments later, as he sat at his desk, he lost consciousness, collapsing to the floor and striking his head. Seeing him in distress, inmates immediately sprang into action, pounding on their cell doors and calling out his name in an effort to get help. The loud noise and persistent shouting were enough to briefly wake the deputy, who, despite his disoriented state, managed to reach the control panel and unlock the cells. As soon as the doors opened, 3 inmates rushed to his side. Realizing he was slipping in and out of consciousness, they quickly used his phone and radio to call for medical assistance. Their actions ensured he received the urgent care he needed. Authorities later praised the inmates for their selflessness, emphasizing that they had no obligation to help but did so without hesitation. The sheriff's office noted that the deputy, like many in law enforcement, treated inmates with dignity, and the kindness he had shown was returned in his moment of need. This remarkable event highlights an often overlooked truth. Goodness exists on both sides of the law. While many hold strong opinions about law enforcement and inmates, this incident serves as a powerful reminder that in moments of crisis, human decency can transcend labels. The deputy has since returned home to recover, undoubtedly grateful for the quick response of those he once guarded, proving that acts of kindness can come from the most unexpected places. Number 8. A beacon of selfless hope. Principal Derek Nelson of Westfield High School in New Jersey touched many lives with his final act of kindness. He traveled to the hospital to donate bone marrow in an effort to save a 14-year-old boy in France. His brave decision was driven by his strong desire to help others, even when it meant risking his own health. Nelson was known for his gentle spirit and caring nature. As a respected educator, he inspired students and colleagues alike by showing that true leadership comes from compassion and selflessness. His work at the school went far beyond teaching lessons. He also taught by example, encouraging young people to act with kindness and integrity. Before his time in education, Nelson served his country in the Army Reserve for more than 20 years. This service highlighted his commitment to duty and his willingness to face challenges head-on. At home, he was a devoted father and partner, cherished by his family for his warmth and dedication. His decision to donate bone marrow was his last gift to the world, reflecting a life lived with generosity. Nelson's selfless act reminds us that every small gesture of kindness can create ripples of hope in many lives. His legacy will continue to inspire his community, students, and everyone who had the privilege to know him. Though his passing leaves a deep void, the memory of his courageous heart and kind actions will live on. Number 7. Heroes in traffic. A chaotic scene unfolded in Boynton Beach, Florida, when a car drifted through a busy intersection, heading straight into oncoming traffic. But in a moment of crisis, a group of everyday people turned into real-life heroes. It all started when a woman noticed the runaway car and sprinted toward it. She recognized the driver instantly, They worked together. Something was clearly wrong. The woman behind the wheel was slumped over, unresponsive. It wasn't just a dangerous situation, it was a medical emergency. Realizing she couldn't stop the car alone, the brave co-worker desperately waved for help. That's when complete strangers joined in, first one, then another, and soon a whole team of Good Samaritans. One by one, they left their own vehicles and ran toward the moving car, determined to bring it to a stop. After managing to slow the vehicle, they quickly tried to reach the unconscious driver. The doors were locked, but one of the rescuers, thinking fast, grabbed a dumbbell from a nearby car. With one strong swing, the rear window shattered. The door was unlocked, and they finally reached the woman inside. Calls to 911 flooded in. The woman, identified as Lori Rabior, a seamstress, had unknowingly suffered a medical episode. She later recalled feeling dizzy after taking medication on an empty stomach and becoming dehydrated. She didn't even remember leaving work. Among the rescuers was U.S. Staff Sergeant Juan Chavez, who didn't hesitate for a second before rushing through traffic to help. He, along with the others, showed the power of human kindness in a moment of danger. Now, authorities are hoping to reunite all those heroes with the woman whose life they saved, so she can thank them in person. Number 6. Teen saves arresting officer's life. A routine booking at a Fort Lauderdale police station took a dramatic turn when a teenager under arrest helped save the life of the officer processing him. The incident unfolded when 49-year-old Officer Franklin Folks was handling the paperwork for 17-year-old Jamal Rutledge. Suddenly, Folks collapsed, clutching his chest in distress. Despite being handcuffed, Rutledge reacted quickly. He began kicking the security fence and shouting for help, making as much noise as possible to get the attention of nearby officers. His desperate efforts worked. Officers rushed to the scene, finding Folks unresponsive. Without wasting a moment, they performed CPR and used a defibrillator to restart his heart. Their swift actions, along with Rutledge's alertness, were credited with saving the officer's life. A week later, Rutledge and the officers were formally recognized for their actions in a special ceremony. The police department praised the teenager's quick thinking, acknowledging that his response played a crucial role in ensuring Folks received medical attention in time. However, Rutledge's life outside this heroic moment has been troubled. At the time of the incident, he was being processed for violating his probation related to criminal mischief and burglary. Reports suggest that he has continued to have run-ins with the law since then. Even so, his actions that day proved that instincts and humanity can rise above circumstances. In a moment of crisis, Rutledge did not hesitate to help, showing that even in unexpected situations, anyone can step up and make a difference. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In Shenzhen, China, a brave 11-year-old boy named Liang Yaoyi captured hearts with his selfless act. Despite battling cancer and a serious brain tumor, Liang kept a warm smile and a gentle spirit. His story quickly spread as news alerts flashed across the nation. Never underestimate the power of a good deed, especially when the deed is such a powerful one as that of this 11-year-old Chinese boy. Headlines like, "Doctors bowed to this 11-year-old boy. The reason shocked the whole world," reminded everyone that even small acts of kindness can make a big difference. Before his final moments, Liang made a touching request to his mother to donate his organs so that others might have a chance to live. His family honored his wish, and many lives were saved through his generous act. Liang's teachers recalled how a simple story in a textbook about organ donation sparked his caring nature. His decision, born from a young and pure heart, showed the world the strength of love and compassion. Although Liang's own dreams were cut short, his legacy lives on in the lives he touched. His story teaches us that bravery and kindness are not measured by age, but by the heart. Liang's life is a powerful reminder that one small act of goodness can shine a light of hope in the darkest times. His memory inspires all to spread kindness every single day. Forever inspiring. Number 5. Hero cop saves baby's life. Detective Corporal Matthew Lavelle of the Posen Police has been recognized as a hero after his quick thinking saved the life of a 10-month-old baby, Nathan Jimenez. The small boy fell off a bed at home, and his family hurriedly took him by car toward the hospital. While on their way, at the busy intersection of 147th and Harrison Avenue in Posen, Nathan suddenly stopped breathing, and panic quickly set in. A family member made a desperate call for help. At that critical moment, Detective Lavelle and the police chief were just a block away from the scene. They arrived promptly and found Nathan's mother and grandmother overwhelmed with fear and worry. Without any delay, Detective Lavelle rushed to the car, quickly retrieved the baby, and began performing CPR. Although the infant was not breathing and appeared almost lifeless, his condition changed within seconds. The rapid response allowed him to start breathing and regain alertness, showing clear signs of improvement. Shortly after, paramedics arrived and took over the care of the baby. Their work further stabilized his condition. In the wake of the incident, the baby's family expressed a strong desire to learn how to perform CPR. Local authorities announced plans to offer classes that help residents learn this important life-saving skill. Detective Corporal Lavelle feels grateful for being in the right place at the right time. This experience stands out as one of the most meaningful moments in his career, reminding everyone that quick actions can make a huge difference. The community remains inspired by his actions, and his example encourages others to learn essential life-saving techniques. His bravery and quick decision-making serve as a reminder that every second counts when lives are at risk. He touched many hearts. Number 4. Hero on the spot. In downtown Phoenix on February 1, 2022, a young girl faced a dangerous situation while waiting for her boyfriend near Roosevelt Street. A man came up to her and began to attack her, putting her safety at risk. In that tense moment, a local bystander named Josh Jones stepped in without hesitation. Seeing the threat, he quickly approached the scene and intervened. He managed to take the suspect down and held him firmly until police officers arrived. His decisive actions helped stop the assault and prevented further harm to the young girl. The local police department later honored Josh Jones for his bravery, presenting him with a special award on March 22nd. This award recognized his quick thinking and willingness to act in a difficult situation. Jones's courage shows that everyday citizens can make a big difference when they decide to help someone in need. His actions remind us that it is important to look out for one another, even when facing danger. By stepping in at a critical moment, Josh Jones became a hero to many in his community, inspiring others to act with kindness and bravery in times of crisis. His actions brought hope and relief to many. Number 3. Hero Deputy Saves the Day. A tense situation unfolded in Tampa, Florida, but thanks to quick action by law enforcement, 2 young children were safely rescued just minutes after being kidnapped in a carjacking. It all started around 6:40 p.m. when a man frantically flagged down Deputy Jonathan Pazmino Alvarez. The man's truck, a 2011 white Chevrolet Silverado, had just been stolen, while his 2 children, ages 4 and 8, were still inside. Without wasting a second, Deputy Pazmino Alvarez immediately pursued the stolen vehicle, never letting it out of his sight. Within minutes, he successfully pulled the truck over and ordered the driver to stop. A moment caught on the deputy's body camera revealed just how frightening the situation was. As the deputy approached, one of the children inside the truck shouted, "That's not my dad!" A heartbreaking plea that confirmed the urgency of the rescue. The suspect behind the wheel was identified as 37-year-old Kevin Smith, a man with a criminal history stretching back over 2 decades. Despite his past, he surrendered without a struggle. Smith was swiftly arrested and now faces serious charges, including 2 counts of felony kidnapping and grand theft auto. Most importantly, the children were unharmed and safely reunited with their father. What could have turned into a nightmare ended with relief, all thanks to the fast response and bravery of Deputy Pazmino Alvarez. His decisive actions not only stopped a crime in progress, but also prevented what could have been a much worse outcome. For any parent, the thought of losing their child in such a way is unthinkable. But on this night, a crisis was averted, and 2 little ones made it home safely. Number 2. A game-changing moment. It was supposed to be just another game. Fans filled the stands cheering for their teams on a warm evening in Utah. But in a split second, everything changed. A man collapsed on the field, motionless. The crowd fell silent as someone screamed for help. In the stands, registered nurse Danya Tompum had just arrived to watch her sons play. Still in her scrubs from a long shift at Intermountain Medical Center, she didn't hesitate. She saw the man lying there, sprinted onto the field, and immediately began CPR. It was a terrifying moment. The man had no pulse. There were no doctors, no medical equipment, no time to wait. Danya pressed down hard, her hands pumping his chest over and over. The seconds dragged on, and exhaustion crept in. Then, another bystander stepped in to help. They took turns, desperately trying to keep his heart going until paramedics arrived. Danya feared the worst. In her heart, she wasn't sure if he would survive. Then came the moment of hope. Paramedics used a defibrillator, delivering a powerful shock. A few agonizing seconds later, the impossible happened. The man's heart started beating again. That man was 57-year-old Darren Ewell. He had suffered a massive heart attack, one that would have been fatal if not for the quick action of a nurse who just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Doctors later placed 4 stents in his heart. They told him the truth. If he had been anywhere else, he likely wouldn't have made it. Darren knew exactly who to thank. When he finally met Danya again, emotions ran high. He hugged her tightly, overcome with gratitude. "You saved my life," he told her. Now, after an incredible recovery, Darren is back on his feet and eager to return to the game he loves. He hasn't played since that fateful night, but he's ready. And every time he steps onto the field, he'll remember the nurse who became his guardian angel, giving him a second chance at life. Number 1. Small boy, big bravery. In 2020, a 6-year-old boy named Bridger Walker became a real-life hero when he risked everything to save his sister from a dangerous dog attack. That day, he stepped in front of the animal to keep his sister safe and ended up needing 90 stitches. Instead of worrying about his own pain, Bridger put his sister first, showing bravery far beyond his age. His selfless act spread quickly among family and friends. His aunt shared his story online, and many people admired his courage. Fans of well-known movie heroes reached out with kind words and thoughtful gifts. One special gift was a shield that made Bridger feel like Captain America, while another surprise came as an invitation to visit a movie set, promising an exciting adventure. This difficult moment turned into a celebration of love and hope. Bridger's actions not only protected his sister from harm, but also reminded everyone about the power of self-sacrifice and care. The bond between the siblings grew even stronger after the incident, as his sister now understands just how deep her brother's love is. Their story shows that even a small person can have a huge heart. Which of these life-saving acts do you find most touching?